certainly a tough Saturday night, starting with a 75-minute weather delay before you even get started. And then a game kind of got out of hand a little bit early, 68-7 setback at UCF. What were you able to kind of take away from that game, if anything?
Well, we ran into a buzzsaw. It was a great atmosphere. It was good for our kids to play in an environment like that. But obviously we have a lot of work to do before we can come close to competing with a Power Four school. So it actually taught us a lot. We understand there's a lot of things we got to work on this week to get better and get ready for our first CAA game.
You knew you were in for a big challenge. We talked about it last week with the quality of program that UCF is and the atmosphere that you're going to face. But then you get a kickoff return for a touchdown interception that sets up a short field, 87-yard run, all in the first, 15, 16 minutes of the game. How tough is that to deal with on the sideline? And what was your kind of message to your team as you went in at half just to keep them in a decent mindset?
We preach, when something good happens, keep playing. Something bad happens, keep playing. So that's something that we say constantly. It was a lot to deal with, returning the opening kickoff. We lost quite a few players due to injury in the game. It was a tough Saturday for us. But, you live and you learn, and we have no choice but to move on and get ready for a good Hampton team on Saturday.
To your point, before we get off that game, you guys late in the game put together a 75-yard touchdown drive or 75-yard drive culminating in the touchdown. What does that say about you guys who were able to still play hard at that point?
Yeah, that we're going to keep fighting, and that's what I'm proud of them, because they did that. They were able to get something on the board, and at least it's a lot better than 68-0. So we were happy with that, and they fought and drove down the field, and Blizz had a couple good runs. So I was proud of them and glad to see that we fight to the very end. Now we just got to make sure that we're not beating ourselves and continue to fight.
First question this morning from Eddie Hughes. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Coach. Coach, you mentioned that late drive. Can you take any momentum from that into the game against Hampton this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were able to run the ball down the field. We had guys where we were getting a hat on a hat, and the running back was running hard and breaking some tackles. So we're going to use that and get ready for, a Hampton team that we'll be excited about playing. They beat us 59-17 on our homecoming last year. So, we have every reason in the world to be excited. They embarrassed us last year. It's our first home game. It's our first CAA game. So guys will be ready to go on Saturday.
Coach, you also mentioned the injuries. Any update to Braxton?
Well, it's kind of day-to-day with Braxton, day-to-day with Champ. Our freshman quarterback, Jair, he's probably done for the season. He's got a broken collarbone. So, we lost 3 quarterbacks during that game. And, the freshman played about 40 plays with a broken collarbone because we didn't have anybody else. Wow.
Look, I mean, with that situation heading into Hampton, how are you going to address, the quarterback position?
Oh, well, that's why you recruit. So, we feel like we got a couple more guys that will be ready to go. And, of course, our team has to step up around those guys and support them. But we feel like we have the players that can do it. We have the coaching staff that can get our guys in the right situation to be successful.
Next question, Coach, from Brian Hall. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Rob. Good morning, Coach. Coach, you talked about
Brian.
first couple games on the road. How exciting is it going to be back inside playing in front of your home fans this weekend?
Oh, man, it's going to be super exciting. It'll be my first home game as the head coach at A&T, so I'm super excited, and I know the guys are ready to go. The student tickets have already sold out, so it should be a nice crowd, and they'll be rowdy, and it's a night game, so the atmosphere is going to be great. We're super excited. We're ready to go.
You're talking about your first game as a head coach there at A&T. Sort of, what are your emotions and feelings going to be when you take the field Saturday?
It's kind of surreal. Having worked here for over a decade. It's definitely not going to be the first time that I've been able to run out of the locker room and into the stadium for a game, but it'll be the first time as the head coach. So it's just going to make me reflect on this long journey, and I'm definitely going to appreciate the opportunity to run out there, and I can't wait.
Coach, one of the things on offense, despite the tough night, you did run for 160 yards. I know a lot came on that last drive, but what were you able to take from that? And was the rushing game getting? We've talked for several weeks that's the focus of the offense, and especially with your quarterback situation. How big is the rushing game going to be on Saturday?
Yeah, it's getting better. We're getting better and better every week, and that's going to be our identity. We want to be a team that can run the football. So it was a better day. It's still not up to our standard, but those guys were pretty good, big and athletic and strong. But we were able to run the ball on them, and a lot of times when we didn't have success, it wasn't necessarily because of what they did. It was because of us having a missed assignment or not being on the same page. So as we continue to get better and better every week, I think our run game can be where we need it to be in this conference.
Let's switch over to your defense a little bit. Obviously, when you face, we talked about it, when you face that level of competition and talent, you certainly, if you have flaws, they get exposed. What were you able to learn from your defense watching them against UCF?
Well, the way we play defensively, that's just unacceptable, just to be blunt and honest with you. We can't give up 300 yards to anybody. I don't care if we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. We can't allow them to run for 300 yards on us. So, we got to get better with our gap responsibility. We got to get better with our assignments. We got to get better tackling. We got to get better playing team defense and understanding our fits and whether we need to box or spill and where we need to send the ball and all those things. So everything is fixable. But to give up 300 yards, and again, I'll keep saying, I don't care who we play, that's unacceptable. So we got to get better at stopping the run, and we will. I think our coaches will do a good job. We got to get back to the basics and really harp on the fact that we got to be good fundamentally. This game is about blocking and tackling. That's what it boils down to. So we obviously have to get better at tackling.
We've already touched a little bit on Hampton as you've started to dive into the film on them. What are some of the challenges they present?
Well, I mean, what we just talked about, they're the #1 rush offense in the conference. So they've done a good job running the ball the first 2 games, and we haven't done a good job of stopping it. So we'll see if that trend continues. But I think that if we play our type of ball, that we'll be okay on Saturday, and we look forward to the challenge.
You've been involved in a few of these games with Hampton, and I know you guys have a bunch of rivalry games with North Carolina Central and others. But what are some memories that you have from some past A&T Hampton games that maybe stand out in your mind?
Well, this will be the 3rd game against Hampton in 3 different conferences. We played them in the MEAC, and I can remember. I think I don't remember what year it was, but we had a punt returner, Chris Garden. He had a very memorable day up there in Hampton. We had over 200 punt return yards and set the school record in the MEAC. And then, playing them in the Big South, the last time we played them in the Big South, that wasn't such a memorable game for me. I remember one of their running backs broke our starting linebacker's sternum. So that wasn't a great memory. And now we get to make some more memories in the CAA. So, we've been rivals or foes with Hampton for a long time, and play them in 3 different conferences. I hope we can just continue and really make this a rivalry like it should be, because it's 2 schools that are very similar, have a great athletic background, are strong academically, and have a lot of culture.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for taking time. Should be a great atmosphere in Greensboro on Saturday night, and I look forward to talking again next Monday.
All right. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.